Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And in this week's episode, we will be, unfortunately, talking about Hunter x Hunter Movie 2, The Last Mission.
Oh, man, this is going to be an episode of all time.
This, that was a rough one, guys. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, you guys really weren't. We'll go into it further soon. But
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. we were literally speechless when we finished the movie. We kind of just sat in silence together for a couple minutes.
Yeah, trying to process what we could of it, but yeah, I'll save my thoughts.
Yeah, we'll get there. Then, of course, after that, we will be going through our community comments. If you'd like to join in on the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version, either on the video or the community post. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you would like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. And if you're an audio listener, make sure to rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at just THAPod, for podcast-related updates and to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also still email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we have provided timestamps in the description if you would like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. Now, for news this week, we have a decent amount to talk about, actually.
Yeah.
So Togashi dropped a bomb and said that he is working ahead on the next 50 chapters.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so obviously the wording here is a little vague. And some stuff gets lost in translation, so who knows exactly what that means, like what is being worked on exactly. I would have to guess just like general planning and drafting.
Well, yeah, the assumption is that because roughly the word like timeline of events is being used
right.
in that tweet, most people's interpretations of that is that he's kind of just vaguely planning out the events of what will happen in the next 50 chapters.
Right. Yeah, that's how I see it as well.
Which either way is
super
still
exciting.
Like, yeah, if he's thinking that far ahead, it's you know, you can't help but wonder what exactly he's thinking about resolving, not resolving by that point. So interesting.
Yeah. So that's great. He's still hard at work, and he also did say this week that he is able to work at a desk again, at least for now. So that's nice. That's really good to hear. Yeah.
In that same tweet, he mentioned that there was a small correction to make in chapter 400 actually with a room number that was shown in one of the panels. I think it said 3000 or 3125 in the chapter that we got. It's supposed to be 3101. Which I believe that's technically then supposed to be like Benjamin's like quarters, which is interesting. But actually no, that's not. That's tier 3.
No.
Yeah.
That's just a random room.
Room.
Maybe that'll have some significance later.
It's weird. Like it could just be a Togashi thing where like it's like that is not the room I remembered drafting or whatever, even though it doesn't matter at all. Like it could be nothing. It could be something though. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. But either way,
great
cool
to hear.
stuff.
Regardless,
that correction will be in the physical volume, or the next physical volume. So, look forward to that, I guess.
Yeah. And other news: Summer 2025 is now the release window for Nen Impact.
Excellent.
So,
I couldn't be happier with that release timing, honestly, for how much more work they get to put into the game.
That's great to hear. I was really happy about that. It does make me wonder, like, what is leading up to launch going to look like? Because they have run out of stuff to hype at this point, except for Kite, and we still got so long to go. I just wonder what marketing is going to look like for this game. But
part of me can't help but wonder, like, I know rollback netcode is probably going to take a long time to implement in general.
Yeah.
But like, you can't help but wonder, maybe they throw in a couple extra stuff within this development time as well. Maybe, we'll see. I guess
maybe some new game modes or something. You never know.
It's exciting nonetheless, though, and I think summer is a perfect time for a fighting game to release in the first place. So
100%, yeah, I'm very excited. Other news: the Gon and Killua SH Figure Arts pre-orders went live earlier this week. I pre-ordered both of them. Of course, got to be there. Support my boys.
Great. Yeah,
they look fantastic. Yeah, I'm very excited to get those in. And the biggest stuff, which is potentially big, potentially nothing at all, is Jump Festa, which is happening right this second.
Yep.
However, day 2, because it's Japan time, will be starting for us actually in like an hour. But we're recording, so if any Hunter x Hunter news does happen, we're not going to cover it until next week, I guess, because bad timing. But I wouldn't expect anything, but hey, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a statement of some kind, if anything at all. But
maybe.
I wouldn't anticipate too much though, personally. But you'll be able to hear from us if something does come from it. So we'll see.
That's right. There'll definitely be some other good news though if you're into anime and manga though.
Oh yeah, already some really
check
cool
it out
stuff
tonight. Yeah. And he did submit a sketch to Jump Festa this year, which is pretty typical, but it was cool this year because it was like an adult Gon sketch, which was really cool looking.
The hair doing a thing.
Wrapped around the calligraphy. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And then lastly for us, actually before I talk about the thing we talk about every week, I want to say this up front so everybody knows instead of at the end of the show. But for next week, we are not going to have an episode. This especially applies to audio listeners. You will actually have nothing next week.
Yeah.
YouTube, you will have, I think at least, a small bonus video on the normal upload time. So on Sunday, you should have something out.
Merry Christmas, YouTube frogs.
That's right. But audio listeners, you get nothing. Sorry.
Go check out the
video. Go check out the YouTube channel. But we will be back the following week, the first week of the new year, with a character retrospective on Kurapika.
Yeah.
So get typing, get your thoughts ready for that call out post whenever we decide to put it up, and get ready for a lengthy discussion about Kurapika to start off the new year.
It'll be a good time. Look out for it.
Absolutely. And then the usual, we are hosting a giveaway, of course, of the Hunter x Hunter Blu-ray set right there. All 7 of them? Is there 7?
Yeah, 7.
Yep, all 7 of them. The whole complete 2011 series. And you can enter that now by clicking the link in the description. And we will be announcing the winner of that giveaway on our live stream on January 11th, where we will be hanging out with you guys, answering some questions, and playing some old Hunter x Hunter video games.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a good time. Yeah, so be there, and maybe you'll hear your name announced as the winner on that day if you entered the contest.
That's right, yeah. January 11th, I believe we talked about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the start date. More details to come as we get closer to the day. We'll probably have something actually scheduled for the live stream on YouTube and whatnot. So just keep an eye out for additional details as we get closer to the date. And mark your calendars. Be there and be square.
That's right. If you haven't entered the giveaway yet, you still got 20 days. No rush. But the link's always there in every video until it happens. So make sure to enter while you can.
And remember, only open to U.S. and Canadian residents at this time. That's an important detail. We apologize for any inconvenience that may cause to our non-U.S. and Canadian friends. It is what it is right now, though. Sorry about that.
Yes. Hopefully in the future, if we do something like this again, we can open it up more. But for now, it's just U.S. and Canada. And we're sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, I guess we're ready to talk about the last mission.
I'm as ready as I'll be, so let's go ahead and get into it.
All right. All right, guys, welcome to our coverage on the last mission.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are anticipating this.
Yeah, this is maybe our most anticipated episode of all time. I definitely don't regret this idea at all.
Yeah, me neither.
So the movie opens up with a flashback. We see some guy, he's very filler looking, I remember when we first started, we made this comment. We were like, the faces actually look a lot more Togashi-esque than Phantom Rouge, and how wrong that ended up being later on.
Very quickly, actually, but we're not there yet.
Yes. Yeah. So Netero pulls up on this filler guy with white hair. We'll get to his name later. It's Jed. What? Who cares? I'm not gonna worry about spoilers.
It might even say it here, to be fair. So yeah.
It probably does.
This guy's
name is Jed. Yep. And we're seeing like the end of some conflict here. There's a bunch of bodies on the ground. He's like we got like a middle-aged Netero, I suppose.
Yeah,
not exactly young, not old.
Not in his prime, but he's very seasoned. It looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jed here pulls out something. This is like a creature, and he refers to it as Own, saying it will survive even if he dies.
Which is really funny.
And this was very confusing at first. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the exact same thing you were. Where we both thought it was a typo at first in the subtitles.
Yeah. Because whenever you start a sentence with own, like the capitalized O means nothing. It's just like, oh, it's on. But then your brain's like, wait, what? On whatever? That doesn't make any sense.
On will survive. It's like, what?
Huh? But yeah, it is own, and it's we'll get into it. We'll get into all the ins and outs of own later on.
It's a mystery right now, though. Like, what is own?
What is own? So Netero, pulls out his Nen ability and destroys Jed and
disintegrates him. Yeah, fair enough. Goodbye. I guess.
We are now in the future, or the present, I suppose, where we see 3 people in cloaks pulling up to what I guess is a prison.
And this is where we made the comment. Yeah. They're pulling up to some prison establishment thing, and this is where we made the comment. Oh, these are like pretty Togashi-like faces. Like this is nice. Like especially the girl, I thought was very much resembled Togashi's art style.
Yeah. But then the 4th member pulls up, and never mind.
No, never
That's
mind
out
at
the
all.
window.
We both commented he looks like he came straight out of Bleach, right? Like
yeah, this is like a Bleach ass character.
No names for any of these people yet, but we just know they're not good from the looks of it.
No, they are some bad people, I guess, and they're doing a mass prison break. I don't know what this prison is supposed to be. I think it's in association with the Hunter Association, seemingly.
That's implied.
Yes. But they're busting these people out of prison. These are all people who will become their lackeys in a few moments. They'll all lose their faces and just wear masks, so the animators don't have to draw faces.
Fair enough, I guess.
So they break these guys out.
He uses
some
the
freaky
blue aura thing that we don't really know about yet. Like, what is that? Huh.
It's likely Own. We could probably guess, but But, and then we cut away from those clowns. They didn't really say a whole lot in that scene. They're just talking about
the main thing is that they were, it's like we are freeing you, like so you can basically enact your revenge on hunters.
Right. Yeah.
Which is like
presumably hunters arrested them, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. But we don't know what
crime hunters, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now we're in the the actually kind of decent part of the movie. Both of these movies so far have actually started pretty nice. Like the first 10-15 minutes is like, all right, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And this one's cool. We just get like a little city, which we learn later is the same city from where Heaven's Arena is located, which I don't know the name of that city or even if it is named exactly, but we're back there.
Real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep on talking.
Yeah, and so we see Gon and Killua just kind of doing their thing around town. Killua's on the skateboard, Gon's like jumping on the roof with a popsicle. And something I didn't comment while we were watching, but something I'm just noticing here and throughout the whole movie is Gon looks like off to me in this movie. Just something about him. Like, I don't know if it's like his hair length or something. I just, like, he doesn't look how I imagine Gon in a very... Like it's like a very slight difference, but enough that's like setting off a signal. I don't know if you pick up on that at all.
That it doesn't send any kind of signal like that to my brain. So like I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing though, and it's just not.
It has to be something really subtle, but yeah, I don't know. Something's off.
Yeah, I don't know. He's gone. I don't know. That's
yeah. It's going to Killua. You know, they're there.
They're recognizable.
Yeah. Did you figure out anything about the Heaven's Arena town?
Yeah, so I don't know if we actually know the name of the city, but we do know Heaven's Arena is within the Republic of Padokea? Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Padokea, maybe?
Yeah, Padokea. That's probably more like it. I don't know. There's that. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So we're there, and Gon saves this little girl loses her balloon, and he saves it and gives it back to her, whatever, you know.
What a nice guy. Moment. Yeah.
And then we learn sequence. It was, yeah, I liked it. It looked nice too. It was well animated.
Oh, and he also beats up this one guy though, right? Before you get to that.
Does that happen before what I'm about to talk about?
Yeah, this guy's about to beat up this old dude.
Oh no, not yet. I was talking about how. So we learn real quick where this takes place. Roughly.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. So they mentioned how they're on a break from basically exploring with Kite in the woods. So we're right at the beginning of Chimera Ant, basically.
But it hasn't
during
started.
Their travels.
It's
right. Yeah, it's after meeting Kite, but before the Queen. Well, I guess the Queen's already working at this point, but before they know of the ants.
Yeah.
So, well, no, they know about the ants right away. But whatever. Before they're actively involved.
Before they go actually travel to kill the ants.
Right. Yeah. So they're just hanging out with Kite, and they just took a break to do, this thing. So Kite is not in this movie, but he could have been.
He could have. It is what it is, though.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. It honestly kind of makes sense if you really stretch your brain. I guess I could see them going off and doing this, but it's still I don't know about that. Anyways, though, they catch this guy causing a commotion in the town square. This old man, and he's just being a bully. And then Gon beats the shit out of him. Or no, Zushi, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Zushi rolls up.
This caught us off guard. We weren't expecting that.
Yes, because at this point in the movie, we are not aware that this is the town that Heaven's Arena is in. I revealed that early, I suppose. But
dang,
yeah, Zushi pulls up, and it's wow, he's ripped.
Yeah, he's jacked, actually. He's been training, evidently.
And that was a cool surprise. I mean, it's nice to see Zushi again. But then what threw me off is just the fact that Gon and Killua reunite with him. And that's wow. That's a big thing to put in a filler movie,
Yeah.
That's something that I would hope will happen in the manga one day. And just to have it in this movie is it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
but cool nonetheless.
It caught me off guard, but in a cool way, because you wouldn't expect a filler movie to do something like that, and I think for that it deserves a little bit of credit. That's a cool thing to have happen.
Yeah.
Very quickly though, is it revealed that they just putting all the characters in this movie though, because as soon as he's introduced, we have Wing and Bisky also walking up to them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wing and Bisky are also there. Wing makes sense, but I don't know why Bisky's there, really.
That was the random one. I was why is she here?
I don't know, but she is in fact there. So all of them are together and not really catching up, just kind of talking, whatever.
Yeah.
Greeting each other. And then we cut to Heaven's Arena. There we are. Wow, we're in Heaven's Arena world, whatever. And then we get some cameos. The Miluki, Killa's brother, and that one guy from Greed Island. What is that guy's name? I don't remember his name. But that guy.
God, yeah. Now I feel stupid.
That guy's there. Hisoka also has a brief cameo, but he'll also be in the movie for some reason. He is in this movie. Barely a good reason for it at all.
And we also see Neon up in the stands.
That's right. We see Neon with the whole entourage. We got Kurapika, Melody, and that other guy that never speaks.
That other guy.
Until he does speak in this movie for the first time ever.
It was a shocker, truly.
That was a voice reveal. It's also in this scene where we learn that Light Nostra, Neon's father, is sick currently. I guess, at least in the movie. I don't know if that's real. But he's sick, so that's interesting. I guess that's, we can... If that is a true detail, we can infer some things about the manga, I guess, but
this is also a filler movie. So
it's also a filler movie, yeah.
Don't take literally everything with a grain of salt. Togashi probably didn't approve half of this.
No, I have to imagine not. So the whole gang, including Light, or it's not Light, Neon, and the whole gang are watching.
Yeah.
And then the whole Heaven's Arena floor master lineup walks out, including Zushi, who is revealed to be a floor master.
Which is pretty cool. But it's really funny seeing him alongside all these other freaks that are walking behind him.
Yeah, and he's also the only kid, so he definitely stands out.
Yeah.
But cool nonetheless, that's definitely a logical progression for that character. I could see this being canon.
Yeah. So far, things make sense for the most part. Like,
yeah. It's
grounded.
Fine enough. It's this is like anime movie plot, like whatever. I can live with this. Mm-hmm. So then we cut to Leorio, who's rolling up. I guess he was invited.
He was late.
I don't know.
Yeah. He was running
late. Regretfully though, he gets jumped and thrown in the sewer.
So the hooded guys from earlier in the movie, if you guys recall, they kind of just walk up on him in this alleyway that he's walking through. Leorio's not very street smart, by the way, in this movie. Like, just from the rip here, like he's just. Why is he walking down like the shadiest like alleyway of all time to get to Heaven's Arena?
Yeah, why don't you just walk down Main Street? Maybe it's like a shortcut.
Beats me, but yeah, he trips over the manhole lid that was kind of just sticking out. And the guys walk up on him, the hooded figures walk up on him, knock him out immediately. He didn't even like try fighting back, which is the funniest part about that to me. He just kind of let it happen.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thrown in the sewer, and that's it.
Yep.
See you, Leorio.
Anyways,
back at the tournament, Heaven's Arena. By the way, what's happening is it's supposed to be a tournament between all the floor masters, but it doesn't really happen.
I guess it's supposed to be like one-on-one matches, like tournament style. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. I think they call it Battle Olympia. I'm pretty sure is what it's called.
Yeah, that's the top floor of Heaven's Arena. So they put Netero on screen, and he just kind of yaps. He's like reading a clearly scripted thing that he doesn't care about at all.
Yeah. Stops himself in the middle of it and just says bye.
Yeah, that's it. So
that's
Netero's there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we see him reminiscing about this little broken coin in his hand. Foreshadowing, guys. This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be
just
crazy
you wait.
stuff, yeah.
And then Gon and Killua get excited that Netero's there, and they go to visit him. And there's a cool little scene where Netero throws like the ball, like the little dodge ball at them, and they catch it.
Yeah.
That was a neat little moment.
Nice little throwback to the Hunter exam.
Yeah. So the three of them talk, and actually during this, for some reason, this is actually still super random to me. Kurapika gets a call from Hisoka here, and he goes and visits him, but they kind of just say nothing. Nothing of value was exchanged in that scene. It was just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm going to this real quick, and he's just like, do Gon and the others know you're here? And he's like, I don't know, like I work alone, I'm edgy,
that's Kurapika's in his edgy phase. He smiles and leaves. Hisoka smiles, by the way.
Yeah, it's just it's so random, and they don't really follow up on that again. Like, what was the point of that?
Like, yeah, you'd think something of worth would be exchanged there, like, because those two have a very, give and take relationship.
Give and take.
But
that's a good way to describe it.
there, they just kind of, I don't know, it didn't give or take. They just kind of.
It's just like, hey, you called? And he's like, just wanted to say hi. And the Kravika's just like, okay, bye. That's basically the extent of what happened there. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So that's something. And then
something, all right.
So Zushi is about to fight this guy, one of the other floor masters, for his match in the tournament. But he, along with all of the other floor masters, are stopped in their tracks by the group here, the enemy group. They're called the Shadows. Might as well not keep that a secret. Who cares? It's the worst name ever, by the way.
Also worth noting, it's the first time we see they're injected with like some weird thing. I don't know what to describe it as, to be honest.
Right, just like a vial. Yeah, they're just like injecting everybody with that. Mm-hmm. And then this one guy with the long hair, whose name is Shura. Uses his Nen ability, as we would assume it is,
yes.
To like hack all the computers at Heaven's Arena, and so now he's able to monitor like everything going on.
Yeah, I believe it's called Machine Eater.
That's right. Yeah, Machine Eater. So back to the kids and Netero. They're just kind of talking, and then of course they're interrupted as well by the presumably leader of the Shadow here, whose name we do not know yet. It's supposed to be really mysterious.
Well, no. First off, the girl walks in through the door, right?
Oh, right. The girl does walk in first.
I can tell how tuned out you were from this movie at times, because, like, dang, like this is that event happens before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Don't blame that.
Well, he does. I think he does walk in after. Yeah. He walks in after.
Yeah, after.
But she walks in first.
This is an important detail.
Yeah. So this is Rengoku, character who. I don't think she has any lines ever in this movie. She does say something here, but
she's counting to herself as she's walking into the room, and then says one line. Yeah.
Own Basara. So it has own in the name. So I guess we can figure something. And then she stabs herself in the chest with a knife.
So
all right.
Yeah. All right.
Goodbye, Rengoku. You didn't even get to use your flame breathing. And then her out of her corpse, I guess, presumably that same weird shadow thing comes out of her and pins Netero up on the wall. Wow, that's scary.
It is a little scary.
Netero is incapacitated.
Netero, leading up to this, also was thinking to himself the entire time, like I felt this, presence before, and things like that. Like I thought I got rid of it. Things like that.
Yeah, it's classic like movie anime trope. Like, oh, I haven't felt this since so and so. Like a dark secret from my past is reemerging.
Yep.
And so Shura then proceeds to put the whole building on lockdown. Everybody's freaking out. And that's when our boy gets his one line where he says, "Damn it, I can't get a hold of Kurapika." That's the only time that man has ever spoken in the entire series. So
it is a voice reveal, though.
Enjoy that. He was casted just for that. So all the armed goons from the prison storm in with their like arm cannons. They all look exactly the same, of course, same body type, same everything, and they're just kind of pointing their guns at all the people in the crowd, while Zushi's opponent obviously is incapacitated, while another man who looks really dumb. I don't like this guy's design at all. He is a member of the Shadow, of course, whose name is Gaki. This is a guy with a blue mohawk and a goatee who has a really weird build. He's got giant arms. He comes out, and at first they don't realize that this isn't the guy that Zushi was supposed to fight, which is really funny. But it is in fact not that guy, and everybody's like, "What the hell?" And then they start to fight.
Yeah.
So this Gaki character will be a unfortunately very persistent character throughout this movie.
The problem is I see what they were going with him. It's just yeah, we'll talk about it later, but he's a character, all right.
We can talk about Gaki more in a bit, but yeah, not much to say about him for the time being. He's basically just Uvo, guys. He's really just like the same thing, except way worse.
But now we cut back to the Netero and Gon and Killua, right?
Yes, this is where we get the plot moving finally, I guess. So we get an explanation from Netero what is happening to him. He's explaining that his Nen is now sealed. He cannot use Nen, and this is because of something called Own, which basically, to sum it up, is just evil Nen. This is the opposite of Nen.
That sounds like an oversimplification for something Hunter x Hunter related, but I promise you, it's just that. It's evil Nen. Yeah. That
is it. This is a very bold choice of the filmmakers here to just introduce like a new type of Nen. But here we are. It gets crazier. I'll explain more about how this works later as we learn more. There's really only one other thing to know about it. But
Netero does say here that it's something he thought he long buried long ago. It's different from Nen. It's born from hatred and revenge.
Yes.
Yeah. Edgy.
Which is very silly because that's implying that Nen is something that's born from like a righteous soul, but Nen is just neutral. No, it's just anybody can use it. It's just, I don't know, it's just like a weapon.
Like what does that say about like Crollo having Nen, for example, right? Or like any of the Phantom Troop for that matter.
Yeah.
Like anybody the cool thing about Nen is that anybody can have it essentially, or have the potential for Nen. It's just about how you shape it and how you define Nen for yourself personally, right? But the introduction of Own flips that description entirely on its head, and it gives a very weird vibe for the rest of the movie, at least for me. I don't know about you, Kaige.
Oh, absolutely. It changes like the whole vibe of the movie because now we're suddenly dealing with this new concept, and we have to keep thinking about it the whole movie, and it's just like everything in your brain is telling you this is not real.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to accept it.
You have to try and go with it just to get as much as you can out of the movie.
Yep. And then, their boss walks through the door and, gets like a little reaction out of Netero. And then we cut back away to Zushi, who has been beaten to a bloody pulp.
Yeah, he did no contest. He got screwed up.
Gaki did make his nose bleed, though. Cool, I guess.
Or rather, Zushi made Gaki's nose bleed.
Oh, what did I say? Gaki made his nose bleed?
Yes, that's what you said.
Oops. I know. Yeah, Zushi did that to Gaki. And that's about all we got to say there. We then move back to the Netero and leader room. By the way, this is Jed. I'm not gonna bother
His name
keeping
is
this
Jed.
a secret. This is Jed. He looks a little different.
Yeah.
And so they he pulls a monitor up and shows them what happened to Zushi.
Yep. Yeah. Just what's happening in the arena in general. Zushi's apartment.
Yeah. So they get pissed and they try to attack him, but then he just like blows them out of a window.
Yeah. Says goodbye.
And then we get a kind of cool scene here, a little action set piece where Killua uses his yo-yo to as a grappling hook and saves them both, and then he swings him and Gon into a wall, and Gon bursts through with a punch. Yeah. Kind of cool. Yeah. I thought that was neat.
It looked neat. It was animated well. Fun little sequence. Nothing to complain about there.
Yep. Meanwhile, Kurapika is kind of just walking around. He's climbing up the floors. It's just investigating on his own.
Yep.
As he does. And we go back to Jed and Netero. We see that Jed is wearing a ring, which I guess is something... Well, we don't know this is actually Jed at this point, but Netero sees that ring and he recognizes that as something that Jed had.
Yes.
So things are being put into place, like, oh, you must be like a descendant of Jed or something,
Yeah, related to him in some way.
Yeah. Of course, it is actually just him, but Netero doesn't know that yet. back in the arena, they're treating Bluesky and Wing are treating Zushi's wounds while Gaki just kind of stares at them. What is this guy even doing here, really?
I guess he's just keeping
an eye.
Yeah, like that. I guess he's just keeping watch over all the hostages and and whatnot. And I guess it makes it because like there's soldiers planted everywhere, so like he doesn't have to really do anything. But like it's just really weird how he's. Well, okay, no, it makes a little bit of sense because he did even make a comment when we saw Zushi's ass getting like after he got his ass kicked. That like he said I did enjoy that fight though or something like that. So maybe it's like out of respect for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gaki's a weird character, guys.
He's super weird and he gets a lot of focus.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to Gon and Killua. Gon's just kind of expressing his resolve. He wants revenge for what they did to Netero and Zushi.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the government pulls up, I guess, like the military. That ends up being completely irrelevant. This actually, everything I'm about to say for like the next couple minutes is completely irrelevant because none of this comes back into play. So we cut to Beans at the Hunter Association, and I hesitate even going over this scene because this is absolutely nothing. But whatever, I'll talk about it anyways.
Whatever, yeah.
I'll speed run it. We see Pariston. Yeah, is that what you're about to say? Yeah, the little, this little. They're trying to get him to help around, but he just does this
smug ass rat just sitting in the office while all this chaos is going, probably laughing to himself that Netero's even in this position.
Yeah.
This is the part. Even if nothing ever comes of this, which it doesn't, I can at least appreciate like how like on the nose the Pariston thing is. Like,
yeah,
it just feels like a big running gag, and I love that. Like I don't know, it feels like the writers were in the know here, like here specifically. So I can appreciate that a little bit.
I did. The Pariston moment was quite funny. I actually did appreciate that. He doesn't speak a word in this movie. He just smile and wave, doing his thing. But anyways, Beans gets a call from like a super secret line that never gets called. I think it's like a government branch calling him.
Well, this is also. No. Before that, though.
Jed sorry. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
I thought that happened before, but no. Yeah, Jed calls first. And he makes demands about this book. What's this book called? I don't even know.
He's saying we've captured Netero. At dawn, we'll execute Netero and the hostages.
Unless you make this book public.
Yes.
Oh, the Black Record is what it's called.
Yeah.
Which I assume is just... I don't even know what it is. I guess it's just a...
Right before that, he was talking about how like the Shadow was like the super secret Hunter Association team that did like really dark missions or whatever.
They're the evil Hunter Association.
Yeah. The evil Hunter. So yeah. Can you see a recurring theme here in this movie?
Everything's evil.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm assuming the Black Record is literally just a record of all the dark missions and stuff that the Hunter Association did. I don't know.
Sick
probably
and twisted goings on.
Probably related to Own as well, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's some Own stuff. So he gives them till 5 o'clock, which is 10 hours from now, to make those records public. Oh my God, it's so scary. I'm so scared. It's intense. What's gonna happen?
Big threat. They don't hand it over. They'll execute Netero and all the hostages. That's a lot of people.
High stakes, guys. That's scary. Only 10 hours.
Only 10 hours.
Anyways, so yeah, the direct emergency line for top government officials is used for Beans. He answers the call, and we don't know what they say, but then he's summoned to a meeting that is an awful lot like the Sele meeting room from Evangelion.
It's very.
I guess we don't see that quite yet. Well, there's just a little. This scene means absolutely nothing. We just see Gon and Killua jumped by a bunch of grunts, but they kick their ass off screen.
Well, we also see we see Pariston doing the thing again as Beans leave.
Yeah, of course, right. As he's leaving. The little.
And then there's also a little scene up top with Jed and Netero where if you remember the dude that was wanting to meet Neon's father earlier, he's roped into this somehow, and he kind of just gets screwed and dies.
Yeah, so he was involved in what again?
I don't
reviving the Shadow. Pariston also had something to do with it.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, like him and
He's like a
Pariston were.
contact. Yeah.
They were associated with that somehow.
Somehow they brought. I don't care, guys. I'll be real. Somehow those two did something, and they brought the shadow back.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Pariston definitely did that. That's canon.
Anyways, all of that's happening though. Gon and Killua are also getting jumped by shadow goons. I guess I don't know what to call them.
Yep. And then back with Beans in the Sele meeting room. They're kind of just talking about, if the Black Record gets out, we're fucked. It's all over. Oh, new world war is gonna start.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. It's all over. I can't believe this. They're speculating who we know Jed is. They're like, oh, it could be a descendant. Yada yada. Well, it's not. It's just Jed, guys. Spoiler. Anyways, we cut. Oh yeah, here's kind of a funny part where Gon and Killua are running away from those guards or whatever, and then they hide in this cardboard cutout where Gon is. It's a cardboard cutout with like a really muscular dude and like just some hot like bikini lady, and Gon's in the big buff dude and Killua's in the lady. Pretty funny. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Gon and Killua have a lot of funny scenes in this movie, and I can give a little bit of credit there at least. They had some fun with a few of these.
They're definitely written a lot better in this movie compared to Phantom Rouge. It definitely feels more like how they would interact.
Mm-hmm.
So they raid like a storeroom or I think it's like a gift shop or something with like a bunch of weapons.
Killua was about to fry open the code to get into the gift shop, and Gon just straight up punches through the wall.
Of course. Yep. And then, we get a little throwback, which I thought was really cheap, but, whatever. It's a movie. It's got to happen. Gon gets a fishing rod. Wow, look at that. Even
Killua's like, why do they have something like that here? And Gon's like, probably because I used it in my last match.
Yeah, probably because of my match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough, I guess.
Sure enough. So Gon is equipped with the fishing rod again, which, cool, but I don't know. I don't feel anything.
Whatever. Like, I'm not gonna down at any points for that.
It's whatever. He has it though.
But he also has Hatsu and Nen right now, so does he even need that? I don't know. I can see your point.
Yeah. Anyways, though, we cut back to Kurapika there, who sees a Joker card on the ground. I wonder who that belongs to. I can't figure it out. I've been thinking about it all night.
God, who would have a playing card? Who would have a Joker playing card? Must be Marina.
I don't know. Right? It must be Marina. We did comment about how the hallways he's walking down are awfully reminiscent of the Black Whale, honestly.
It looks very similar. Quarters. Genuinely.
Yeah. You could honestly you could take a screenshot of him walking down the hall, and you could just be like, hey, this is a screenshot from the Succession War anime.
Yeah.
I believe it. He's in a suit too, so yeah.
You could genuinely make a believable screenshot from somewhere in this movie. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Definitely none of Kurapika's action scenes though, which we'll get to. So gas starts filling the room with Kurapika, as also a bunch of the floor masters show up, and the same thing happens with Gon and Killua in another room. For starters, it's just the one guy who Zushi was supposed to fight. Mm-hmm. And the gas clears out. Killua flexes that he's immune to it. And I guess it just kind of clears out. I don't even know why it disappears.
They didn't even resolve that verbally. Oh yeah, the gas is clear. They just ignored it for the rest of
what was okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Then they fight this guy. He seemingly has own now. And then a bunch of other floor masters show up. Action ensues.
Yep.
Then we cut back to Bluesky and the gang. And I don't think... Does anything of worth happen here? I don't think so.
Gaki's receiving word that, some people are fighting right now. And Gaki's like, oh, fighting, you say?
Yeah, fighting. I love it. Cool.
And then Bluesky makes it... Yeah, okay, you can talk about this.
Yeah, we got a little flashback here, which this is where it's formally revealed, I guess, that Pariston was involved in. Okay. So yeah, I'm remembering now. They're from some little clan thing. I don't know, a village, and for one reason or another, Pariston and that one guy had them like killed.
Who knows? I guess
killed and imprisoned.
I guess for Pariston you can rationalize that in like literally 1,000 different ways. So whatever, I guess. But it's I don't know.
The nation could not tolerate their existence.
Nope.
So they were crushed. Okay.
But why?
Cool.
That's up for you.
I don't know. Yeah, you got to think about it on your own time.
Also worth pointing out, all of this is kind of being told from like Bluesky remembering just details about the shadow in general, which is also another thing left unanswered. Like, how does Bluesky know about the shadow? Like,
I mean, she's old enough. I guess she would have been around like when that was happening, but
this is starting to show like a main root of my issues with this movie, though, and that a lot of like answers and just things being explained in general are based off of like implied information rather than like information that's actually built up and makes sense.
Yeah. It's forcing us to like
take their word.
Accept this. Yeah. We have to accept this narrative that they created where this all happened. It just happened in the past. This is real. You got to live with it.
But by just stating that as like directly so many times and kind of like having that approach for just revealing key plot threads in general, it's like you leave us to not be invested in it at all because we're just kind of getting the information thrown at us without a reason.
Yeah. And it's only an 1.5 hour long movie, so there's just like not enough time to chew on any of this either.
Yeah, so...
Not that I'd want to anyways.
No, but like we're almost 40 minutes into the movie now at this point, and like we're still just getting stuff just thrown out the wall, essentially, and seeing what sticks. And that's not a good sign for the rest of the movie. And I remember feeling that way even at this point watching the movie.
Yeah. This movie kind of just gets worse and worse as it goes, honestly, because things just keep stacking up.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, a bunch of nothing really notable happens. And then we're back to the roof where the government has like helicopters closing in on Jed and the gang. And then he does some crazy bullshit. Summons his thing.
They try and go in to save Netero. There's like a force field thing that stops them. And Jed's like, oh, word. And then just like explodes all of them with his own ability.
Yeah, this big thing. I don't even know what it is.
Well, I know the name of it, but it's not revealed until later. So this big Nen-own question mark monster just starts attacking all the blimps.
The least hunter thing ever. He's just like screaming and things are flying and summoning a big thing. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't question it. That's like the motto of this movie. Don't question it.
Absolutely. Yep. But this is where Netero finally pieces together the fact that this is Jed himself.
Oh, no, he says it here. He said grudge of 100 demons, Rakshasha.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
Yep. Okay, I forgot it was revealed here. I just completely skimmed over that as well then.
Yeah. So yeah, he's Jed. Shocker.
Big shocker.
Anyways, Gaki is just kind of he's so much like Uvo. It's just boring. Like he's just tearing shit up.
Yeah, I remember the news reporters from earlier that we mentioned, guys, that are just kind of like outside the building, just kind of trying to get coverage. Yeah, Gaki just kind of comes out, destroys like all of the military personnel out there, and then just dips. She's like, well, that was fun.
Yep. Yeah, it is fun. It's actually... This means nothing to you, Dylan, but this is a lot like a scene from Dragon Ball where Nappa, he's just like bored waiting around and he just decides to go like destroy a news caravan and like a small portion of the army. It's almost exactly like that.
Oh my god.
Actually. So yeah, I guess he's a lot like Nappa as well as Ufo. Anyways, who cares? So moving on from that, we see Gon and Killua's fight wrapping up. It's all off-screened in true Hunter x Hunter fashion, of course.
Yep.
We see the very end of it where we're seeing Gaki look at the monitors and he's like, "Oh, I'm kind of want to fight these guys."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that looks interesting."
Yeah. So they escape through an elevator, which, we can assume that, what was his name again? Jura or something? Shura. He probably opened that elevator for Gaki to isolate them. Kurapika deals with his goons and then walks off. That's actually the whole scene.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. And why didn't we get to see any of these people actually get knocked out? I don't understand.
I don't really know.
Just so many cutaways and action sequences specifically. I don't get it.
Yeah, except coming up here, we're going to get a whole lengthy fight.
You're right.
Which will save us a lot of time in this recap because it's just a fight. I can speed through this. So Gon and Killua get out of the elevator and they're confronted with Gaki, who pretty much just immediately starts fighting them. Like he means business. He really wants to fight these guys. He shoots some energy blast, and Killua immediately pins him as an emitter. But we will quickly learn that is not exactly the case. So, they fight and monologue, and then we cut to Kurapika, who meets up with Shura, who is his matchup.
Pulls out the batons, or
he pulls out
stakes.
I used to know what those were called. Those little wooden sticks on strings.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I can't remember what those are called, but yeah, just like last movie,
Boken.
No chains. What is it?
I think it's Boken.
Boken. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, he's using the Boken, and just like last movie, no chains. It's just these things. I don't understand why these movies are so adverse to Kurapika using his chains.
They want to save him for big moments, man. Don't you know?
Yeah, he'll get his one moment in this movie. It's huge.
Yep.
So then we get an actually pretty cool, well-animated fight sequence here with Gon and Killua against Gaki.
Yeah, it looks nice. I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say about it, but it's just it's kind of just standard fighting, what you would expect out of I don't know, just kind of what you expect out of Gon and Killua fighting a big Nen user, or own user. Sorry, my bad.
Own user, correct? Yeah.
Just kind of shooting fireballs, and they're just kind of flying around, doing all this. It's well animated. I had a good time watching most of this.
Yeah, it's cool to see Gon and Killua fight together. It's fun.
Yes.
Not that we haven't seen that before, but it's cool to see any time. And then we see that we see a little flashback from Gaki, which I really don't care about, but I'll talk about it briefly.
You'll never understand the depth of our
bitterness. Yep, that shit. You know how it goes. You'll never understand.
But essentially, it's showing him and the other two, Shura and Rengoku, when they were younger, kind of escaping this village that was, how we said earlier, was kind of being ordered to be destroyed, this whole clan, I guess. They escape and run away, and it kind of shows a progressive journey to actually finding this power within this desert area that so happens to be Jed.
Yes, it's some old man that guides them there, which I don't know if that's supposed to be an old Jed or something. I doubt it. I don't know who that old guy was. I don't know what that was about, but
who knows?
So they revive Jed here. Basically, he starts as a baby, ages up to probably what age he was when he died, I guess. Yeah, cool. And then that's how the whole group is formed. That's the shadow, the four of them.
And they got their own powers by having Jed's blood touch them.
Yes, and he also reveals here in this moment that they do have a self-imposed condition and restriction for, I guess presumably they're all different conditions for each of them.
Yeah.
But we only really learn one of them in this movie, and we'll see shortly. So the fight continues. He keeps just throwing his fireballs, standard fight stuff. There's not a whole lot to talk about exactly. They're just flying through walls, having a grand old time. They go in an elevator shaft. Pretty cool action sequences. It's definitely a step up from Phantom Rouge.
Because Phantom Rouge barely had any action sequences until the very end, So.
Yeah. The thought just came in my mind of, if you ever wanted to see Gon and Killua fight Uvo, here it is. But that actually happened in the last movie.
Yeah. Well, it happened, but like they didn't do jack shit to him.
Yeah, so. But that was like pre-Hatsu.
Yeah.
Gon and Killua, so they got their ass beat. But I guess here's the rematch.
Yeah, if you wanted to see like Hatsu versus like Uvo, like this is like the closest you're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
so there's
Uvo with fireballs.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff here. They get creative with some of it, which is
they do, and so the fight ends up being just like this elevator shaft. That's like the main set piece of the fight, and Killua was trying to figure out like what exactly this guy is. What is his Nen type? He's going through like all the types. He's like, this guy's like everything.
Yeah, he's like, he was an emitter, but now he's doing this like transmuter stuff, and it's like, what is he like?
He's got like the build of an enhancer, yada yada.
Yep.
So he's like, I wonder what that's about. And then we cut back to Kurapika's fight, and man, I'm gonna tell you guys, there is absolutely nothing to say about this fight. He kind of just runs at him with the sticks, and what's his name here? Shura. He's just yapping. This guy's a yapper. He's just talking about whatever own shit. I don't know.
He's being really vague. You'll never
understand our tragedy.
Yep. And he pulls out another ability against Kurapika at this time. Right.
After hitting Kurapika with the line of like, "Oh, you're just like us. You're a Kurta," whatever. Actually, that's after he pulls out the clone.
After.
So he clones Kurapika somehow. I guess that's part of his ability.
Shapeshifter. Yep.
Yep, shapeshifter. Very creative.
Yeah, very creative name. Not on the nose.
And then he's like, "Oh, you're just like us."
Yeah, now I get it.
And so then Kurapika spends like 10 hours fighting this clone of himself and gets his ass kicked. Because he refuses to use the chains.
Yeah, he's just like, so hell-bent on using the Boken here. I just don't get it.
Dude, I don't understand. He could have wiped the floor with this guy like an hour ago if he just used his damn chains. Yeah. What's the deal?
But now even Kurapika's like, this hit hard. Like he blocked the shapeshifter Boken. Yeah, so he's like, is it an enhancer? You're not a manipulator? Like, so he's having the same exact thoughts. And then this is when it sure reveals, when it comes to own, aura types basically don't exist. You can use everything at 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So there you go, guys. They own lets you use everything for free, basically, on one condition. But I don't like, what even is the condition? Who cares? So, doesn't matter. You're broken for free. With
this information revealed to Kurapika, though, the Scarlet Eyes now show he's getting serious about this now. This is a big threat, right? You see the chains pulled out as the Scarlet Eyes activate.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, Emperor time. Oh, man. He uses Holy Chain to heal his arm. Okay, fair enough. Sure.
Good first play. It's a good, starter move. Nice. Yep.
That's it, guys. That's the only chain he uses for this entire fight.
Heals his broken arm.
Oh my God. What is this movie, dude?
That was crazy. My jaw was like left agape when I saw that. You serious? Like, big moment. Oh, finally the chains are coming out. We mean business. Just gonna heal your broken arm.
Yeah, literally. Even in the animation, he uses the Holy Chain, heals his arm, and then immediately cuts like the chains have disappeared from his character entirely. In what's drawn there, he's just back to the stupid Boken.
Yep, back to the Boken, the old Boken. Okay. And then they continue fighting, and then Leorio pops out of a sewer on the 50th floor of the building.
Dude, I said this in the moment that we were watching the movie. It is the weirdest thing. He was in the sewers. He is covered in trash as he's coming up from this floorboard. Like, oh, okay, he must be on like the first floor or something. Doesn't really make sense still, but sure, I'll believe it. No, he then sees the hole in the wall that Gon and Killua broke through earlier.
On the 50th floor. This is my favorite scene in the movie. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, so he climbed up from the sewers all the way to the 50th floor of Heaven's Arena. What kind of sewer system do they have?
What did he do?
How did he do that? There has to be a 49th floor. Where did he get What pathing did he take? Like, I don't get it. It makes no sense. It's so fucking funny.
It doesn't make any sense, like, at all. I cannot possibly rationalize it. Like, if he had come up steps here to the 50th floor, I'd be like, oh, okay, he got out of the sewer earlier and then climbed the steps to get up here. But no, man, he pops out of the damn sewer on the 50th floor. What do you mean the sewer extends to the 50th floor?
It's so stupid. It's so funny, though. Like, I can't help but laugh, but it's so stupid. How did this get overlooked? What storyboarding were they doing here? Like,
I don't know. But
I had to rant about that, though. That is so
no,
funny.
That's my favorite moment in the whole entire movie. I will never forget that. Like, if anything I remember that movie for, it will be Leorio emerging from a sewer on the 50th floor of a building. That is incredible work there.
Really making Leorio look like a fantastic character here.
And then that's even further accentuated by Hisoka picking him up and, like, dangling him for his life.
Yep, with bungee gum.
And then just, I don't know, bargaining with him, willing to team up or something.
Yeah, this is the other weird part about the movie. Hisoka is just, like, kind of here the entire time.
He's just here for no real reason at all.
Yeah, like, he's just happy to be here, I guess. I don't know. Like, he's like, because he's telling Leorio here about, like, how, like, you know, he's using some, like, strange, like, messaging with, like, the cards, but, like, basically saying, you know, teaming up is better than going alone, but, like, why is he even interested in this? And that's something I've been asking myself, like, from this point onwards. Never get an answer to it, really. He's just...
No, our first thought was, like, oh, maybe he wants to fight Jed or something, like a strong guy, but it's not that. And then you think, I don't know, maybe he just, like, actually senses, like, danger here for these four, and he doesn't want them to die yet, because he wants them to be ripe or whatever. But I don't know, whatever.
They don't elaborate. And, like, it's Hisoka, so I guess there's not really a need to elaborate. He can kind of just do whatever he wants to on the basis of his character. But it's still, like, come on. You guys couldn't have found, like, a single reason that makes sense for him to, like, get involved in any of this. I don't know.
Nope, they got nothing. He's just here for fan service.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to the Gon and Killua fight though with Gaki. It's wrapping up here.
Gaki's saying how, like, he much would have preferred to kill Gon under the spotlight in front of a cheering crowd. Like,
yeah,
fights. That's his whole character.
He likes to fight. Did you guys get that yet? And yeah, so Killua launches, like, the whole elevator shaft at him, which was cool. And this is kind of like he doesn't explain how he did this until a little later, but this was the most Togashi thing in the whole movie, just like explaining a strategy in a fight. I thought that was cool. You know?
Yeah. He set the elevator.
Cooked a little.
Essentially they explained that Killua used the electromagnetism within the elevator to move the motor. Therefore, you know, throw the elevator at Gaki essentially. And it's also here where Gaki, trying to fight back, gets stuck on a magnet attached to the elevator. And so what Killua basically did with that is that he knew the magnet was, like, there, and he used his electricity basically to, like, weld it to, like, the other side, so, like, you know, actually attached to, like, Gaki's bracelet things, which I thought was pretty clever. That, like, I don't know, that cool. I like it when, you know, it's the classic strategy being revealed, you know, like when something happens in a fight. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. I like that moment. That was cool. And it ends off strong too, because while Gaki is stuck in place on that magnet, Gon uses his first Jajaken of, I guess, all of the movies here, all two of them. And then
we were wondering when it was coming the entire time. Like, all right, like, just do the Jajanken. You have it, Gon. And then he finally does it. It looked pretty cool. It was good.
It did. Yeah, he punches him through a wall, and that's the finishing blow. Gaki is done. But not before he gives a rousing speech here. Well, actually, Killua then explains his whole strategy there, which, you know, we just talked about. Yeah. But then Gaki talks about how his whole thing, like, he just wanted to fight people. He talks about Zushi, or Gon talks about how, you know, he can't forgive him for the Zushi thing, and Gaki didn't even remember him at first, but then they refresh him, and he's like, oh, yeah, that kid was kind of good, actually. His skills just aren't refined.
Yeah. Gone
But
pops
he
a
has
smile
potential.
at that. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
We're supposed to feel sympathy for him for some reason at this point, but I do not give a shit at all. And, you know, they talk more. He's about to die, you know, and then this is when we get his condition revealed for his power, which I guess Killua's intuition is just off the charts because he just knows it's about to happen.
Yeah, like he sees like his like he starts like slumping a little bit, and Killua's like, "Nope, we're out of here, going bye."
Yeah, let's
like,
get out.
Dawn's, like,
but yeah,
holding back
his
tears.
yeah, I hated that. Do not cry for this man going. But Killua gets him out of the way, and Gaki explodes. And so this is the reveal that his condition was that if he lost to a hunter, he would explode. Pretty simple.
He would die. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the kind of contracts you get to forge with Own, I guess. Like, okay, fair enough, I suppose.
Sure.
Own is just a weird thing, guys, because, like, I mean, you kind of have to have a condition like that if you're going to make something as stupidly busted in theory as, like, yeah, just 100% null Nen types. Why not? Like, it makes sense.
For
but,
someone
like,
who is 100% in all Nen types, though, he was pretty unimpressive. Like, he just kind of shot fireballs.
He was just fireball guy. That's all he was, really. Like, it's... I don't know.
And it's also unfortunate because, like, we could have had like a neat showcase in this movie of crazy powers with like 100% of all categories, but nobody does it. He's like the closest we get. Everybody else doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
so,
yeah, that's a shame.
It's so stupid because, like, it's already a stupid concept, but if you're really gonna go with something like that, like, you got to make the most of that. Like, get really creative with what you're showcasing it with.
Right.
But they don't do that. It's just they use like the simplest things of like powers of all time essentially to showcase Own. It's just like energy blast or just like dark tether, and it's like,
yeah,
come on, guys! Like even like the big like fight at the end of the movie, which we'll be getting to soon. Like it's like nothing. Like I don't know. It's so stupid. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, let's go on.
Yep. Yeah, I'm skipping over this scene where they're just talking on the chair. Goen's getting emotional about Gaki. Shut up, Goen.
He's like, I don't. Why would they kill their friends? Why would they make their friends accept the condition?
Yeah, like, yeah, we get it, Goen. I know. Anyways, so what's his name is crying on the roof. Jed, he's losing his shit. About his friend that died. All right, boo-hoo.
All right, yeah, we're supposed to feel a lot of sympathy here, but it's not happening.
Yeah, he wants to be Crollo so bad.
Even Shura, when we cut back to him and Kurapika, is like, so I'm the only one left now, huh? Out of us three.
Darn. I feel so bad for you, Shura. And then Kurapika barely manages to beat himself. He stabs the boken through him.
He falls over immediately after.
Yeah,
like he's gasping for air.
Okay, man.
Like
it took that much out of you, and you didn't even use Nen at all. What the hell?
So it's really funny though, because like Scarlet Eyes are activated. Like you feel like he might have Emperor Time activated this entire time, but just does not use the stupid chains. I don't understand.
Doesn't do anything with it. I don't understand it either. So yeah, Shura's about to finish Kurapika off, and then Leorio comes in and saves him, kind of. He just throws a knife at him.
Yeah, he throws a knife at like light speed towards this dude. Like, okay. Sure,
yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then Hisoka follows shortly after. Actually, no, he doesn't. He's just chilling outside.
Leorio's giving Kurapika a pep talk right now.
Pep talk, yeah. And, you'd think this would be another moment for him to use his chains. Like, oh, my resolve is at its peak. Here we go. Now it's time to get serious. And that does happen. However, he just uses his Boken once more. Okay.
So we get a little decent little team up scene with Leorio and Kurapika, them fighting Shura.
Yeah.
And eventually leads to Kurapika stabbing Shura through the chest with his Boken.
Once again, the sharpest sticks in the world.
and he spills out a lot of blood.
Yeah, this guy loses all of his blood from that stab. Like, wow. He floods the whole building with blood.
Yeah. And Out also drops that little ejection thing that we saw earlier in the movie with like all the floor masters that it was used on.
Yep. And with his last act of life, he throws it at Leorio, but it actually hits Kurapika instead because he jumps in front of it.
Yep.
So now Kurapika is injected with own juice.
Yeah, we actually don't know what it is even when this happens, but as Shura and also Hisoka chimes in on this, essentially Kurapika cannot use Nen anymore, at least right now, whatever. And it's revealed that this is actually the blood of Jed within that vial. And now that he's made contact with that blood, he essentially has Own infused within him. Or rather, he has the option now to make a contract with Own. He can't use his Nen is suppressed, and he's given two choices essentially. He either makes a contract with Own and lives and dies by the ways of Own and hatred and revenge and edginess, or he dies. That's his options.
Plain and simple.
Yep. Those are his options.
So, now Kurapika's got to deal with that. We'll get back to that in a second. But for now, Shura dies, so all the hacks around the building are going down. The cameras and turrets are off. The camera system's not working, Got a little scene of Jed and Netero here on the top of the building again, talking about the vial again, basically, just the fact that he put his blood in the vials. Jed mentions that Netero is apparently the person he hates most in this world.
Yeah, so it's revealed here that Netero basically asks if Own is this good, why aren't you making me have Own, right, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's through implied information and whatnot, it's essentially revealed that he put a restriction on himself to where he can't really use Own on Netero, or rather have him infused with Own at the price of being able to use it as well as you can, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever. I don't know.
It's by this point I start losing all care in the world for this concept.
Yeah, I was I'll be honest, I was dozing off at this point. I just didn't know how to care, man. Yeah. But it's Anyways, back to the main four and also Hisoka. They lay Kurapika on a couch in a hall. He's dying, and basically this scene boils down to Kurapika's dying. He'd rather die than give in to the Own contract, and Gon resolves to save him.
Yeah, power friendship stuff from Gon here, which is yeah, I don't know. It's at this point where I'm really realizing there's not a whole lot they can do right now to save this movie, because I feel at this point you just fall back on Gon and Killua as much as you can now, because everything else has just failed miserably in this movie so far.
Yeah, Kurapika was a massive disappointment in this movie, and he's out now. That's also another bold thing of the movie, to have the four of them reunite again. It's something we have not seen since York New City, and they're just showing it in this movie, and it's pretty unceremonious also.
Also, Leorio is just kind of here now. He's here.
Man, to Leorio. The writers did not like Leorio.
No,
he got shafted hard. He's just a total joke.
Just stuck in the sewer for half of the time, and then he's stuck in the sewer for half of the movie. Then it's just kind of a joke character with Hisoka, and then makes a kind of cool save with Kurapika, I guess, but it's nothing special. And then now he's back to doing nothing for literally the rest of the movie.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. So they go ahead.
They explained to Gon and Killua essentially that Kurapika is gonna die if we don't do something, and then Gon and Killua, or Gon's all right, we're gonna go save him. We're gonna don't make the contract with Own Kurapika, even though Killua's well, I guess he has to do it if he wants to live, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Killua. But Gon's like, no, we're gonna go beat this guy up, and Killua's like, okay, cool, I guess. And they're gonna go off to do that while Leorio keeps watch over Kurapika. Does what he can, I guess, which is just offer motivational support. That's his role now.
And after that we cut back briefly to the Bluesky gang. I have nothing to say about this scene. We got a little bit of Bluesky and Zushi action here. They're just beating up some goons.
Yep.
That's it. Nothing of value. Then we begin our final act proper. Gon and Killua reach the roof where Jed is, and obviously Netero. And, Gon does this whole thing like, yeah, you give my friends back, yada yada.
He uses paper here, guys. That is something.
Yes,
hey.
He does start off by launching paper. I think it misses, but
it misses.
He does.
Has paper ever hit every time he's used it?
I actually don't. I don't think it's ever hit. No. He then eventually also does use scissors. Hell yeah. He just hits him with all three, or not. He doesn't hit him actually with any of them, but he tries to hit him with all of them, but fails. I got to admire him for trying.
Yep.
And it just not even cool action ensues, and then eventually he Gon gets like how does he get the blood? What happens?
So Jed starts fighting Killua after he kind of just like swatted Gon out of the way, and he's about to. I'm trying to see here. Yeah, Killua's like trying to like stop Gon from doing stupid stuff essentially, and he's like, Jed, I'm coming after you. He starts running at him light speed. Slashes his cheek. That's what happens with his like little pointy hands. I don't know, assassin hands. I don't know what to call them. He starts bleeding. The blood's about to hit Killua from him doing that.
Right. And Gon jumps in. Yep.
Pushes him out of the way, and the blood touches his arm.
It gets blood on him. Yep. I guess that's enough to infect him. Kind of busted.
Yeah. They mentioned throughout this movie that just the blood touching you is enough to infect you with Own, which is crazy. I think. But.
Yep. And right before that happens, obviously Gon has a moment where he's like, "I'd rather make a contract with Own than let you have Kurapika."
Mm-hmm.
Wow, foreshadowing.
Yeah, wow.
Excellent.
Killua gets very pissed about this though, and starts going like full force into and then trying to like stab him and whatnot. Does not.
Yeah,
work.
that was
gets
cool.
His ass kicked. But
gets sent flying into a billboard. And then Gon gives in. I guess he makes a contract.
Because he tries using Zhazhan Ken and
no nen.
Yeah, no nen.
He's like, all right, well, fuck it. And then he goes Own mode, which I guess is supposed to be cool.
This is also after Jed. It's a funny scene where Jed like literally punts Killua into like this like electricity board.
In the sign,
like literally a football kick.
Yeah. And they just like drag Killua's JPEG across the screen into it.
Yeah, it was animated very weirdly. Looking back on it.
So we get this weird freak Gon here with red eyes. Yeah, own Gon.
Own Gon.
He can punch hard.
Again, this is so like why do you have something as like crazy as Own and don't do anything creative with it? It's all just punches or blasts or just like holding people up with this dark aura as if a million other anime haven't done that before. Like I don't. It makes no sense, dude. This is
in theory an absolutely busted thing, but it's not utilized in any good way. It's horrible.
Stupid in concept and its fundamentals, and which means the only saving grace you can do with it is just do something cool and flashy with it, even if it makes no sense. It's like just full send and commit to it, but they don't. They just don't, and it makes for a boring application of a concept. I don't.
Yeah.
Can you tell how mad I am from this, guys? Like,
yes, dude. I would be more angry, but I'm just exhausted talking about this thing at this point. I hate this. Like, dude, this is just trash. It's so bad. I can't even believe it. I haven't even got to the part that makes me the most mad yet. We're about to hit it, though. But so yeah, the own Gon versus Jed fight here sucks. I actually have nothing to say about it whatsoever. It's really boring. They just punch each other. Again, further cementing what Dylan was just saying. Dude, you both right now have all types of men at 100%. You're just punching each other.
Yeah, okay. Gon just defaults just doing Jajang Ken again, but with Own.
He just does like super Jajang Ken.
Yeah, he just tries Rock with Own, and it's like, what? Like, I don't know. Maybe they just could not think of anything else Gon would even think about doing there, but like, come on, just like have fun with it at this point.
Just like if you're going off the rails, just do something unique. But nope. So then Killua tries some shit. Well, Netero instructs him to like go after Rengoku.
Yeah, he's like, you're the only one who can use Nen. Gives him a wink, and he kind of knows what to do, I guess.
Yeah. So he goes for Rengoku, who should be dead, but I guess can still hear. Okay.
This made no sense to me, and it still doesn't.
So Rengoku's corpse is listening to Killua here, who's giving her a speech about importance, like friendship, whatever, individuality, and then she cries somehow, and then the Own is lifted from
Netero is free.
And now begins the part that pissed me off the most. They really try to hype this shit up.
He took off the little like wooden sandal things. He's ready to go now. There.
Yep.
Jed throws Gon aside and kind of is just like, oh, like it's him now. It's Netero.
It's Netero time, baby. I gotta get serious. And Netero gets serious too. He gets into his prayer stance, and of course we get 100 type Guanyin Bod. I've never said this out loud before. Here we go. Guanyin Bodhisattva. I hope that's correct in some capacity. I've literally never said that out loud in my entire life. There you go. So yeah, his Nen ability, iconic.
Yep.
They play the music.
And
I felt nothing because this is a dog shit movie.
Okay, so that is something we haven't really touched on yet. The OST is like about like they play some good tracks through it. It's kind of like the same vibe as Phantom Rouge for the most part, where like it's just kind of like a best of kind of soundtrack. Yeah. It's Hunter x Hunter's soundtrack though, so like it works no matter what scenes are playing, alongside it. So there's that.
Fantastic music.
Yeah.
There are some new tracks also, which are very good. So,
They had a Hiyori Itai remix at the beginning of the movie that was pretty good.
That was really nice, actually. It was like a scored version of Hiyori Itai. I really like that. Better than the use of it at the end of this film, which we'll get into, which also pissed me off really badly. Anyways, so, we get hype Netero stuff. His awesome music is playing, even though what we're looking at is dumb as hell.
Yeah. Say that again.
So he uses his Nen ability, of course, and
he's like, "Who will win?"
Wow, this is just as exciting as Netero versus Meruem, right, guys?
We then cut away briefly though to like Killua trying to comfort Gon. He's like, "Gon, are you okay?" Gon kind of punches him. What? And then Netero basically says, as he's in his prayer standstill, like, the only person who can fight against Gon is Gon himself, implying that Own is kind of just taking over him at the moment with, the hatred and revenge and all that, edginess, edgy Gon, right? That's what we want to see, guys.
Yep.
So he's just kind of trying to fight against that and kind of pushing Killua away the entire time in his, like, aggressive state. So Killua has to deal with that while Netero has to deal with Jed.
Right, and so in response to Netero's Nen ability, Jed uses his own ability, Rakshasha.
Grudge of 100
and then
demons.
They do this bullshit. They do a copy of the awesome moment in the Netero versus Meruem fight where the whole scene turns into a mural. It's beautiful. And they do it for this dumbass filler character. I hate this. I got so mad.
He was so heated, guys. It was so
You
funny.
can't do this. You can't do this. Like, dude. Oh my god, this pissed me off bad.
The implication that Jed is like on the level of Meruem in this situation, in this moment. Like, that's not what they're saying, but like doing this little like mural framing of the moment thing implies it, and that's really, really funny.
Yep, they think they cooked here. They're like, yeah, this is just as good as Meruem versus Netero. We got it.
Yeah, this is the opposite of Netero's ability. This is matchup of the century here.
Yeah, this is even more thematically resonant than Netero versus Meruem, actually. Because guys, forget it. This is like reverse Netero. It's like evil Netero. So like,
yeah.
Think about that one. Think about it.
It's really deep when you think about it.
This is deep when you really think about it.
Yeah.
So the fight continues, and they're just ripping off Netero versus Meruem even more, doing like the cool editing stuff that they did, yada yada, whatever. I don't care. It all sucks. I hate it. I hate this part so much. I hate this.
This is where I have to step in and let Kaige contain his rage a bit. So like, all the while, also Killa was kind of like wrestling, going like, I will never let you go to the dark side. Like,
right? Yeah, the dark. He literally says the dark side.
You can tell they just weren't trying by this point.
What dark side? Nen isn't good inherently, guys. Who wrote this movie?
I really want to know who did. I genuinely, I just want to talk.
I guess I can find out. If you want to keep talking, I'm going to find out who wrote this piece of shit.
Yeah, so, Netero's like, you wanted to use Own to avenge the plight of the weak. It's kind of having this dialogue about Own and Nen, like what the Shadow were all about, what the Hunter Association was all about back then. Like this deep past, guys. We're so invested in Netero and Jed's relationship. Oh yeah, right. And that's the other problem. They're like trying to use that as a crutch for like the motivation behind this fight and like the kind of the energy and vibe behind this encounter. But like literally all they've done to build up this relationship that Netero and Jed had in the past was just like, hey, I knew you, and like I remember when you did this, and like throwaway lines like that. But they don't show any of it. They don't really talk about any of it to any like elaborate detail. They just don't care. So how are we supposed to care? That's
exactly.
I don't understand the thought process behind writing it the way they did.
No, they're trying to make this like the emotional crux of the movie, like the relationship between these two characters, but they've told us nothing about it.
Literally nothing.
And I don't give a shit.
No, so yeah, it just falls flat. Like it's supposed to be a cool moment, and maybe it would hit more if we had any reason to care, but we just don't. They don't ever give us a reason. And that's a big gripe I have with this entire movie.
Yep. So real quick, I can't find exactly just like a credited writer, weirdly enough, but there's some script writers credited. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
No notable names. However, one of them I want to note, and this should be embarrassing to him. He should be ashamed of himself. This man has been working on Hunter x Hunter scripts since the 1999 anime. This is Nobuaki Kishima. He has done scripts for all of Hunter x Hunter. Wait a minute. Oh, wow. Actually, that's funny. Actually, he only did the 99, and he returned for this. This was his big... Wow, that's embarrassing.
What? He had to have had like a connection or something. That's the only explanation. Like,
I mean, this is probably like a legacy pick. They're like, all right, this guy, he wrote Fire back in the day. Let's get him to do this movie for us.
Oh no!
Wow, that's really bad. Okay, well,
has he written any other scripts for anything else since this movie?
Since let me see.
I'm just curious. Oh my god!
No, he didn't.
No, dude, this movie
career ending
script. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Well, that explains a lot. Anyways, yeah, throughout this whole fight though, Netero's like, you and I are flip sides of the same coin. Remember the coin, guys?
Yeah, right? Remember the coin?
Foreshadowing. Yeah, like we're
did
both
you talk about the
hunters.
Gon light thing yet, by the way?
No.
Oh, Gon turns to light.
Yeah. So
I don't even know what that is.
This is, right when we're hitting the climax of this fight with Netero and Jed. Killa's like, come back to us, Gon. We're friends, right? And then that's the sentence that snaps him out of it.
Wow, no way. That's crazy.
See this like kanji, I think, of like what's supposed to be grudge. It's like leaving his body. Like, wow, so deep.
That's deep.
And he's bursting with light now, and now we have light going.
And he does the big punch, and that's it. Yeah,
he does the big punch.
Punches. I almost said Jing. What is this guy's name? Jed. Punches Jed. He should punch Jing, but he never does.
He never will. Maybe one day.
Hey, maybe one day. So yeah, he knocks that guy's lights out. He pukes and dies, I guess.
Yeah, he just kind of disintegrates. Yeah.
He gets punched, pukes, and dies. What a way to go out.
Next time, definitely, I'll win. Like, okay, dude. But in the dust of this dude's body, I guess, Netero finds another half of a coin.
Wow.
And then we get a little reminiscent flashback to like even younger Netero with a younger Jed. Talking about, one day we'll put an end to all this together. Until then, young Netero pulls out a full coin from his robe, tosses it into the air. Jed catches it, or rather catches the coin that's like kind of split in half. He gets tails, and so Jed is saying, "I'll take charge of the shadow, the dark side of the Hunter Association." Yeah. Netero is in charge of the light.
It's literally like 5-year-olds role playing. It's like, okay, I'll be the evil group and you be the good one.
It's
okay.
So stupid.
Wow.
Like, you're not gonna show any of what led up to this. Why did they make this decision? Why is there a need for the shadow? Can you explain any of that? Nope. They don't. They just choose not to. It's just, okay, I be good guy, you be bad guy, and we're friends.
And they act like that is so necessary. Like, there has to be the evil one. It's got to be around. And also, again, this movie is acting like the Hunter Association are good guys. They're absolutely not.
No,
they're very morally gray.
Pariston Hill was a part of the Hunter Association. There were rats in that thing.
I don't know if the writers watched Hunter x Hunter or read it. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about ever.
So that we get that as like kind of like the bookend to the whole Netero Jed thing. Okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Karapika and Leorio come up the stairs. Karapika's all healed, thank you. Cracks a joke to Leorio, but yeah, I heard those motivational words you were telling me. They're pretty pretty sus, dude. Haha, funny, make Leorio blush. Yeah. Kind of cute moment in a vacuum, I guess, of just the whole gang interacting together.
Yeah, fair enough.
Netero is kind of there too, and is just the darkness has been lifted. You guys will carry on, and then we start rolling into the credits,
where Hiyori Itai is playing, and that. Oh, this movie does not deserve that song, guys. Oh my god.
They lead into it with they do the little build up that you hear at the end of every Chimera Ant episode, and even I remember Caige's reaction so vividly when those notes started hitting. I couldn't see his face when we were watching it, but I could tell he was absolutely fuming behind that camera. It was the funniest thing I've heard in a while. I could hear the anger in his voice.
I was fed up, and that was just the cherry on top. You're really gonna end this dog shit with Hiyori Itai? Give me a break.
We get some shots throughout the credits of they're all kind of watching Battle Olympia proper with Zushi versus the one freak. Then we see a whole scene of Bean sealing up the black record, which, by the way, was never followed up on since they brought that up as a demand. So the entire time leading up to Jed versus Netero, we just did not hear about it at all. There was never... They could have easily brought that up as something to bring up the tension at least a little bit, have there be some kind of visual stakes involved, maybe have the black record actually be there for the battle, Beans drops it off or something. I don't fucking know. Something to make it work and make it relevant, because you brought it up. You brought it up for a reason, but you don't use it. And it just, you sealed away in the credits as if it was a big deal in the first place. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. No. It was never relevant. It was only there to make the stupid Pariston joke. That, with the,
Yeah.
that's it. That's literally all it was there for.
there's never a scene of like cutting back to Beans where he's like freaking out about like, I don't know, should I release it? Should I not? It's just we never get to see the inner workings of that plot line again.
Nope, not at all.
Why even have it at all?
I don't
like
know.
The stakes could have just been like Netero dies, but they had to add these other stakes of like, oh, this thing that we don't even fully comprehend will go public. Oh no. Like, okay, what am I supposed to be scared about?
I mean, it's like we kind of just have to take our word for it, guys. This is a big deal.
This is huge. Believe us.
And that's it. They don't tell us anything else. So like, why do we care? Why should we care? So stupid.
And then we see the Nostrad car, Neon, and them. And Neon has a Togashi plush, which I thought was cute.
That was cute. Melody's like hearing Kurapika's heart beating, and it's normal again. And she smiles.
A little thing. They drive off.
And we see Netero drinking some tea in his room, watching Battle Olympia, having a good time. Zushi starts the fight.
Oh, Hisoka, by the way, just like walks off. That's the end of him.
Oh, yeah. So, great use of that character in this movie.
Yeah, he was huge in this movie. I couldn't imagine this movie without him. Could you, Dylan?
No, me neither.
Yeah.
So, Battle Olympia starts proper. There's fireworks going on around Heaven's Arena. Everything's back to normal, and then we cut to black for the rest of the credits.
Yeah, so that was fire. I loved it. It was a banger movie.
I don't think we really need to, like, hide it any further. This movie sucked ass. This
Awful.
is not a good movie.
I really did not like this movie. It was pretty insulting in a lot of ways.
So many of you mentioned about how Phantom Rouge was like far better than Last Mission, and like I genuinely like struggled to believe those comments. Like I didn't see how it could get like. Maybe I could see a world where there was a worse movie, but I couldn't see a world where it was this much worse, and that's on me, I guess. But wow, this was bad, guys. This is bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
At least like Phantom Rouge has some really stupid stuff in it, but like at least it like made coherent sense and there was like a proper like plot thread to follow, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Last Mission doesn't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Phantom Rouge made sense. Like there was never a point in that movie where it was like, what is going on? It was dumb, but it made sense. This, it's like, what is happening? And it sucks, and it's stupid, and nothing works. Like, what am I looking at? What am I watching this for? I'm watching it for like the one Jaja Ken punch through the wall. And,
the one half decent fight with Gaki, and like that's it. That's like the only like thing.
Yeah,
to be excited about
if I were to revisit anything from this movie, I guess it would be that. But I don't even, because then I'm reminded of like having to. Like the movie forced me to try to feel sympathy towards Gaki after they beat him, and I'd like, okay, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They butcher the usage of like half of the other characters they put into the movie.
Yep.
Honestly, what was the point of having like Zushi be like a character in the first place if they were just not going to use him at all?
That was just 100% fan service. There's nothing else you can really say. Like, there's nothing of value that was gained from having him in this movie. Same with Bluesky, just fan service. Same with Hisoka, just fan service. Honestly, same with Kurapika and Leorio. They're just there so they can put them on the poster and be like, look, guys, they're in it.
Not dissimilar from Phantom Rouge in that case too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This really is just another Gon and Killua movie, guys. Hate to break it to you, but like, which isn't bad as a concept, but like, you have to make
Hunter's
it
more
make
than
sense.
that though.
You have to make it make sense, and you have to make it entertaining, and this movie fails to do both.
Yeah. It fails on all fronts. This is quite bad, and I wish I didn't even watch this, honestly. I think this was like a waste of my time. And now I talked about it for like 2 hours.
Yeah. So I hope
and
this
more
was
to come.
Yeah.
We're not done.
We're not that we have comments to read still, but like, I hope you guys had a half decent time listening to us rant and yell about this movie, because this is the most fun thing we can get out of this movie now is just like yelling about it and about how stupid and bad it is.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like in the moment, anything I said positive about it while we were watching, it's just like it's gone by the end of it. You know, like at the beginning, I guess I can be like, yeah, like the first 15 minutes are like all right.
Yeah,
but then by the end,
but
yeah, But then, like, by the end of the movie, it's completely overwritten because the rest of it is so bad. I don't even care about those first 15 minutes anymore.
Because you're just sitting there thinking about, like, just all the missed opportunities and all the just, like, you know, like, whys. And it's just, there's just so many bad things about it. It all adds up. It really does.
Oh, yeah. Like, a first viewing of this movie, you're guaranteed to just be, like, overthinking Own the whole time and just, like, not being able to enjoy the movie because of that. And that I'm not going to say that, like, that's not the viewer's fault. That is absolutely the writer and director's fault. They didn't tell you enough about Own, and it's also bullshit anyway. It shouldn't even exist.
Yeah, no, it's a bad concept with a really butchered and just, like, badly paced, not elaborated enough story. And that's really all there is to it. Like, it's... there's not much more I could say about this movie other than it's just bad. I don't know.
And like we said, childishly written also. It's just like, it's such basic concepts with like no explanation. It's literally just like good versus evil, and the good guys aren't even exactly good. That's what's the most embarrassing about this movie.
It completely shows ignorance on the writer's part of what Hunter x Hunter and these characters actually are. Because like if you watched even like a hint of like the Netero Meruem fight, you know that like even Netero knows that like the Hunter, like humanity in general is just not all good guys. Like
he is not a good person.
Yeah, he admits himself that he is not a good person. So and like,
that's what okay, before I do want to get to viewer comments here shortly, but yes, I do have to mention real quick how much this butchers Netero as a character by just painting him as like, they're like trying to make him like Gandalf or Dumbledore or some shit here. Like, oh, this is like this holy saint, great man, did nothing wrong in his life. What are you talking about? Have you read this story? Do you know what you're talking about here? Huh? No?
They could have fixed that. There was definitely room to have Netero make a single comment about like, I eliminated the shadow and that was my bad. I did some bad things, relating to that. No, they don't have him to say any of that. He's just like, yep, I did that. And like, they're still trying to paint like Own as like evil Nen, therefore making Nen just like a good thing. Like, so stupid.
It's so stupid. Yeah, and like exactly as you said, like they had so many opportunities to paint this like as a more complex thing, but they decide to end the whole thing. The end cap on that whole plot line is Netero talking to what's his name? I keep forgetting. Jed, and just being like, "Yeah, you do the evil one, I'll do the good one." That's how they choose to cap this whole thing. Really?
Like,
just gonna paint it black and white like that and dip. Okay, cool. That's great. I love that. Thank you for understanding Netero at such a deep level. You got it, guys. You nailed it.
Thank you for painting that good of a picture for one of my favorite characters in the series. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was awesome. You really did it justice. Togashi loved... I hope Togashi never saw this movie, honestly. I'm not even joking. I hope he never laid eyes on this.
I really hope not, dude. I struggle to think... Maybe, like I feel like seeing even a second of this movie from Togashi's lens would probably cause him, like, 10 times more back pain. Just, like, trying to, like, carry on the series knowing that this shitty thing is attached to it. Dragging it down the entire time. Stupid.
Oh my god. Okay, I think we've ranted enough. I want to see what you guys had to rant about with this movie.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys had to say. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's see.
Okay, now we get to read your guys' thoughts on probably one of the shittiest things to ever come out of this series. So, let's get on to your guys' thoughts about the last mission. Just as a reminder, when it comes to most of our topics here on the podcast, keep an eye out for a call-out posts on YouTube community posts, Twitter, and Bluesky if you want to get your thoughts in on the show on any given week. Just look out for our socials and keep an eye out for those posts if you want to get in on the fun.
Yes.
So first off, we have from Twitter, actually, Naomi saying, "This was just Die Hard, but at the Hunter x Hunter universe with Netero as the hostage." I see a little bit of similarities there, but yeah, that's funny.
I've actually never seen Die Hard in my life.
Really?
I'll be honest. Wow. So I do not know, but I'll take your word for it.
On a serious note, I feel like the Black Ops Hunter storyline had potential, especially if it was in the context of the chairman election arc, but it was wasted on this movie. And that's what I was kind of trying to get at earlier too, is that there was potential there for something, but just throughout the fundamental concept of Own, it was kind of butchered from the very beginning. But like there was something there with the whole Black Ops storyline thing. Like, I don't know.
Dude, and honestly, okay, yeah, just right there, just describing them as Black Ops adds so much. That's if they were actually explicitly stated, like, yeah, these are the the Hunter Association Black Ops. That's a cool concept, and I would actually like to see that explored. And yeah, that'd be perfect in the chairman election arc as like a background plot.
Yeah, attach that to Parison's name, that instantly gives them even more like kind of legitimateness. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, there's something there. They just didn't capitalize on it.
No.
And then Naomi also says, another issue, it revealed dark parts of Netero's past. He employed the Shadow, used it to benefit the Association, and then tried to kill/torture them once the Shadow was no longer useful to him. But the movie brushes over this and paints Netero as the hero in the end.
Thank you. That's exactly. What are you doing? What is this movie trying to say? It doesn't even know.
If they used any of those points you just mentioned to, like, you know, give some kind of picture of, like, yeah, Netero isn't a complete good guy, and, like, you know, give some context there, it would have been a little bit better, even if a lot of the movie would have still been very crappy. But, like, no, they don't. They paint him as the hero. This all good guy, this Dumbledore-like figure, like you mentioned, Kaige, and it's stupid.
They couldn't even go for like the most basic thing in story writing of like a yin yang thing. Like, oh, every dark has light in it, every light has darkness in it. They couldn't even do that. They just had to paint it completely black and white. Yeah, they tried, I guess, to do that, but then they just ignored their own like plot thread by the end. What the fuck?
It's confusing on all angles.
Awful. All right. Thank you, Naomi. I completely agree with that. Next comes from King Freaks on Twitter, who says, this movie could have been so good if it was just a tournament arc and was unrelated to the Hunter x Hunter story. They kept trying to add it into the timeline, but it never worked. Yeah, I would have loved to see just a tournament. Sure, that'd be way more fun.
Just a fun, action-filled movie that has like little consequences. Yeah, I mean, I'd be so down for that.
That'd be way better.
It'd be better than what we got. So
absolutely.
I'm in agreeance.
Yeah.
And then the last Twitter response comes from Ed saying, haven't seen this one, but very happy they carried so much of this movie's soundtrack into the show. Netero vs. Meruem would not work as well without songs like Prologue and The Last Mission. So, yeah, just further showing the soundtrack is at least like a...
Wow, those songs debuted in this movie. You're totally right. Oh my god. That's crazy. I hate that. I wish I never watched this movie.
That's a really good point, actually. That is something you have to give the movie a tiny bit of credit for, is that they did... The songs did originate. I didn't even think about that.
I hate that. Ed, I love your icon, but I don't like you anymore. I'm sorry, man. That's it.
Yeah, now
I hate knowing that.
Kaige has to go on living now, knowing that one of his favorite fights in anything ever is like has the last mission attached to like a prime origin of it.
The amazing soundtrack for that fight is almost entirely from the last mission.
Yep.
Ooh, that's bad. All right. All right, sorry, Ed. I'm moving right past that one and never thinking about it again. Thanks, man. All right, next comes from Lilligant Listener, who says, there are so many problems with this movie I could go into detail, but I'll do this one because it's my favorite issue with this movie, because it kind of undermines the whole premise. All right, let's see here. Gaki makes a contract with his forbidden Nen power to make himself super powerful and able to defeat all other Nen users. Also, Gaki can't even defeat novice Nen users like Gon and Killua.
No.
Remind me again why this hate Nen is so dangerous that it's forbidden to know if it can't even beat two amateurs in Nen combat. It seems like any competent Nen user could deal with a guy like Gaki. You'd think.
That's a good point. This is pre-Chimera Ant training Gon and Killua. They're very much novices still. They only just learned how to use Hatsu in Great Island.
Yeah, they had just learned their Hatsu. Like, Killua doesn't have Godspeed yet or anything, and Gon's, like, Jaja-Ken is horribly underdeveloped. It's actually not even called Jaja-Ken yet at this point.
Yeah. He didn't even give it the name until Grant. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Stupid.
Yeah,
that's a good point, though.
Yeah, one of my thousands of problems with Gaki. I hate that, man.
Yeah. Good comment. Next up comes from, I'll just say CR. I never heard of that movie, so I just tried to find the trailer or some clips on YouTube, and oh my god, I couldn't even finish. I feel physically unwell. What in the world is this? My first impression is, did a Naruto fan do this? How does it make sense to have Netero incapacitated and go and win this fight alone out of nowhere? I feel somehow insulted on Togashi's behalf. They obviously have no understanding of his world or of his work whatsoever. I don't think I can watch the full thing. Sorry, I'll wait for the review. Fair enough, man. I get it.
Dude, save yourself. You made the right choice.
I think listening to us rant about this movie is probably far more entertaining than what that movie will ever have to offer.
Yeah. Never recommend a friend to watch the movie, but definitely recommend a friend to watch our podcast.
There you go. That's right.
All right, next comes from SDM4B, who says, imagine being given the chance to create an original story about a work famous for having one of the best power systems in the industry, and instead of taking the opportunity to meaningfully engage with said power system, you go, what if Nen but evil? Like, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's so disrespectful. Like, Nen is such a limitless power system. You can do so much creatively with that, but both movies kind of decided to just like ignore Nen as a concept.
Well, so at least even though the concept didn't really land with us, and I'm assuming most other people, at least they tried with Phantom Rouge and the whole like puppet Nen thing.
Yes,
like,
but they also like barely understood the rules of Nen. Like,
I agree.
I guess they tried, but it's barely Nen at that point.
But that's the thing, that at least they tried to engage with the system to some capacity instead of just saying Nen but evil and like that.
Yeah, this one's just like, all right, I'll just make my own thing. Screw all that.
Yeah,
I don't need Nen. We
but
got
like,
own.
And it's such a stupid thing to do with Togashi's work, especially because like you're just gonna be made to look stupid instantly. Like just trying to like even do a contrast to Togashi's system.
Yeah, and then on top of that, just like making all the complex morality of Hunter x Hunter and just boiling it all down to black and white is so insulting. It's just, this movie is insulting across the board. I hate it.
Insulting. That's a good word for this movie for sure. Next up, we have I Am Mr. F saying, the only part I like from this movie is character. I'm assuming interaction is what
interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, there's some good. I mean, Gon and Killua's interaction in this movie especially is far better than what Phantom Rouge did for the most part. Even though I like the dynamics of what they explored with them and Phantom Rouge, like I feel it was thematically appropriate and whatnot. Like, I don't know, that was a good time for me still, even within Phantom Rouge. But I do agree, like the character interactions in general, they had fun with those specifically in this movie. I just wish they had more fun developing the other aspects of the movie as well.
And Zushi and Wing too. It's nice to see them interact again. Like, that's cool.
Although it was literally only for the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so. It was very short lived, but
it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And Netero also with the boys at the beginning. That was nice.
The dodgeball thing in the elevator. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Next comes from Canadian Football 1729, who says, the fights are better than Phantom Rouge's, in my opinion, but that's it.
I'll give you the Gaki fight, yeah.
Yeah, the Gaki fight is better than any fight in Phantom Rouge, at least, but any other fight is just as bad, really.
Yeah.
Especially Kurapika, once again, shafted.
Yeah, that's just, why would you show the scarlet eyes and, the chains out here. Holy chain. That's it. I guess.
That's it.
Stupid. I'm not going to rant on that anymore.
No, we're done with that one.
Yep. Next up comes from Alluring Stream saying, honestly, I enjoyed this movie way more than the Phantom Rouge one, and I really enjoyed the concept of Zushi becoming a floor master. I feel like it would be very cool to see him again in the canon story whenever Gon and Killua come back. Yeah, so, I mean, I can't agree with you on enjoying this way more than Phantom Rouge. I'm sorry to say that. But I do, I also really enjoyed the concept of Zushi becoming a floor master. And I just, this movie, to its credit, at least like put the thought of Zushi and Wing coming back to any degree like in my head when I wasn't really thinking about that before, admittedly. And that would be a nice nice pair of characters to come back if we ever revisit Gon's story. I'd be down for that for sure. I'd like to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. It was cool to see him again. And yeah, like I said when we were talking about it, I could definitely see Zushi being a floor master right now in the manga. Like that could be the case. I don't know.
We don't know because we haven't gone back there and God knows how long, but maybe one day.
All right, next comes from Museko, who says, thematically, the movie spits and pukes all over the complex morality that makes Hunter x Hunter so great. Exactly what I said. Thank you. Time and time again, we are shown that characters don't fit into strict black and white concepts. Wow, did you read my mind, brother?
Yeah, wow.
Concepts of good and evil. There is good in bad and bad in good for pretty much every character in Hunter x Hunter, which makes them truly human. Yes. Exactly. Nen is a pretty good reflection of this since the category and abilities one gets depend heavily on one's personality and experiences. Nen is not inherently good or evil. I love you, man.
Yeah, read our minds.
You're fucking preaching. It is a power to be used on the user's own mindset. Making own an evil version of Nen goes against all of this. It also allows the use of all categories. What? The villain having an evil version of Netero's Hatsu really puts the rotten cherry on top of this unoriginal piece of garbage.
Banger statement. Wow.
Love that. Thank you. I really wish this movie focused on Zushi more as a main protagonist and showcased a cool manipulation Hatsu. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe he develops a fighting style that manipulates the opponent based on certain conditions while using said style. A much better story would be Zushi fighting against corruption within Heaven's Arena and Gon and Killua as backup. That's great. That's a genius idea right there. That's way better than what we got.
Very nice, grounded concept for a movie that allows for like the main character to still be like heavily involved, but like show something new that the main series hasn't done yet. That's what like a filler movie should be about, I think. And that just sounds so much better than what we got.
And if Togashi has no intention of ever showing Zushi again, that'd be a great way. Just show his Hatsu.
Yeah, why not?
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Very good point. And yeah, just you read our minds, truly.
Yeah, first sentence or first paragraph. Wow, you just took it right out of our brains. That was great.
Next comment is from Shirokage saying, "I really don't know what to say. LOL. There are a lot of problems, but I will only mention one of them. Main villain sucks. Even that Walmart Uvogan character was better than him. He's just edgy guy who has a bullshit power and he acts cool, I guess."
Sorta.
Watched it for the first time, and thank God I watched it once with my girlfriend, and this movie was probably the worst thing we spent time on together.
Dylan, dude. This might be the worst thing we spent our time on together, too.
It's up there, certainly. Yeah. This was bad. Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. The main villain sucks. Great value Uvo was definitely better than him, I think. At least they tried to make him compelling, even if it kind of failed still. But they tried.
Yeah.
There was some effort. He
was better than the main villain for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows a lot, like how we hardly talked about. I keep forgetting his name even. Jed. We hardly talked about Jed really as a character. We talked about Gaki way more.
But like that, there's not a lot to talk about with Jed. He's just
he's nothing. He's just evil guy.
Yeah, there's no personality behind him.
Yeah,
he's
that
Gaki
was
on personality, which is very reminiscent of Uvo, but it's a personality.
Yeah. I am with you. I'm glad I only watched this once, and I will never watch it again. This is the only time you'll ever hear me talk about this movie. Well, probably not. I guess maybe I'll mention it at some point again, but
maybe
at length. This is
some gag down the line. We'll reference it, but yeah.
Yeah, when Jed shows up on the black whale.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Anyways, next comes from Bizarre Sar, who says, "I've only slept during 2 movies in my life, and this was unfortunately not one of them." that was good.
Funny. Yeah.
I hope that this movie was the last mission that the writers ever embarked on. The only somewhat interesting idea of this movie was the unknown Hunter Black Ops that Periston was involved with. But that concept wasn't explored much. That one scene with the Periston waving to Bean was funny as fuck. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was the funniest part of the movie to me.
Yeah, yeah, that was great. They quite literally did not have to have Own in the movie. Could have explored the dynamic of Shadow. Corny name, by the way. Yup. It sucks. And the Hunter Association fleshed out the villains instead of making them so one-note and boring. And have Karapika use his goddamn chains more than once.
Yep.
Amen. I hate you guys for making me watch this movie, but in all seriousness, keep up the good work. Y'all are my favorite podcast and basically part of my weekly schedule. Oh,
thank you. We
and
that.
Sorry for putting you through this movie. I really didn't think it would be this bad.
In our minds, we did the first movie. We have to do the other movie regardless, right?
Yeah,
there's
of
only
course.
2. Sorry we put you guys through that, though. It's maybe a mistake in hindsight, but we'll see what happens from this. And yeah, I agree with you. They could have easily had this movie just spend more time on actually focusing on the Hunter Association Black Ops than just exploring Own for like half the movie. And it would have been much better because you could have been able to explore the dynamics of these relationships and just like the existence of this secret society within the Hunter Association, which is inherently a interesting concept.
Absolutely.
There was something there. You didn't have to have Own, so I completely agree with you.
Yeah, the whole Periston involvement in this movie was so weird. Like, why was it even here, honestly? It went nowhere. It was nothing. It was just like, hey, look, Periston's in the movie, I guess. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, maybe this was made around the time where, Periston was getting involved in the anime, like the election arc was upcoming, maybe? I don't know, so maybe there was some motivation there.
This was December of 2013. So that, and Hunter x Hunter, like the anime ended...
The anime ended in 2014.
2014. I'm trying to see what month, though. Let's see. September 24th, 2014. So no way. Not a chance that was Hunter... chairman election in December of the previous year. That would have been like, I guess sort of. Well,
I'm not saying maybe. I'm not saying that was necessarily like in it, but like maybe it was like up and coming, like it was getting closer to the election arc. I don't know. In any case, there was something. Something had to have inspired Periston being involved in. They were obviously in the know about that. Like I think that's apparent that Pearson's a rat, like literally. But
could have even been manga related stuff. I mean,
maybe
because this might have been around when like the Dark Continent Expedition arc was happening in the manga.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't exactly know what was going on in 2013, but
in any case, yeah, like they could have used them a lot better here, I think, if they really wanted to, but they didn't. So I don't know what they were thinking.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Thank you for the comment, though. Next up is from Salem, saying, I watched this movie a little bit after I finished the anime, and I think this is the first movie I've seen that I genuinely hate. So many characters in this goddamn movie, and basically none of them were used in an actually good way. Poor Leorio.
Yep.
Own is a stupid concept, and it's overpowered as fuck. I actually liked the idea of the shadow, and I wish they did more with it. I hate that you reminded me of this, and I feel bad that you guys are putting yourselves through this mistake of a movie.
Yeah, I feel bad for us too, and I apologize for reminding you of it.
See, this is why we're going on break next week. We have to recover from this.
Yeah, we got to recover for a whole week. Yeah. I am surprised to hear that you actually like the idea of the shadow. That is fascinating to me.
Well, I mean, it's the idea of just like there being this like covert hunter like group, right? Like,
yeah, I guess stuff. Okay, ignoring Own completely,
because the shadow specifically isn't tied to Own, and I mean, like they were tied to Own, right? But like it's just like the group itself doesn't have to be tied to Own,
right? Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, that is actually pretty cool. If that were to be a thing, name and Own aside. Like, if it wasn't called The Shadow and Own wasn't a thing, then yeah, I think this could be a cool thing to explore.
There was a cool concept. It's just the details surrounding it. They had to do better. They did not.
Yeah. Next is from This Is Me 2014, who said, I decided to watch it for this, and what the fuck, this movie sucks.
Sorry, bro.
They did my boy Leorio so dirty. I mean, Zushi being a floor master is cool, but even if you see in the canon manga, floor masters are no joke. Crollo, Hisoka, and regarding that Togashi tweet, I was thinking he said, oh, this is an entirely different statement.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah. Crollo and Hisoka were floor masters, and yeah, that's I think they're on a different level than Zushi personally.
I pointed that out when we were watching the movie too. Like, these guys are like just freakazoids, but like they
the whole lineup are like. But if you remember, like, well, actually, we never really saw any floor masters. Now that I'm thinking about it,
no, because like the random dudes we saw in the Heaven's Arena arc was just like they were
trying to be floor masters, but they failed.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the other thing you said, though. And regarding that Togashi tweet, I was thinking he said for the 50 chapters, does that mean after 420 or 430? Because he has already inked till 424. If so, he might be on 470 or 480 plus. That is the big question. We have no idea.
That's a good question.
It's so hard to figure out exactly where he is. I've done like a lot of research, and there's like guesses, like exactly what you said. That's pretty much what people are guessing is what he means, because people were thinking like he was drafting into like the mid to late 430s at this point. So planning ahead for the next 50. I mean, that could even mean starting from 410, really. Like, who knows what he means by the next 50. I don't know what the starting point is.
Well, I would assume the starting point would be, well, this requires a lot of additional context, I think, that we don't necessarily have. Like, we have to go off of implied information, which doesn't feel
exactly. No, yeah.
So who knows is, I guess, the answer here. But
yeah, short answer is who knows. But
I also
you're probably in the ballpark with 470 or 480, maybe.
And in all fairness as well, I also don't think story-wise it'll be a huge difference between 470 and 480 at the pace Togashi usually goes at.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. Anything big could happen within the span of 10 chapters, I guess. But like, also, we have so many chapters to go until we're there. Like, I feel like it's not even worth really putting too much thought into. But
yeah, I mean, dude, 470, 480, that is a whole different ballpark. Like, I can't even imagine where we'll be at.
We could be out of the arc by that point.
Yeah, we really could be. That is so far in the future. I can't even begin to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I personally wouldn't think about the actual content of where we could be at too heavily, but like just knowing that there's 50 chapters being planned right now in general, regardless of the starting point, is such good news to have from him. Like, just know that that's on his mind.
Yep. Love it.
And then finally, the last comment, this is a long one, is from Insert Name, saying, who put the cardboard cutout scene in the movie? They know what they did.
They sure do.
They sure did. This movie didn't have to suck. In some ways, I think there's more to like in this movie, but there are so many elements that are just like daggers to the soul. It's clear the creators have knowledge up to the end of the Chimera Ant arc, and probably the election arc, yet demonstrate an understanding of the material that goes beyond cursory into flagrant disregard for the text. It's an absolute travesty of reading comprehension.
Absolutely.
You hit the nail on the head. Nen has always been about emotions and desire, both good and bad. Own makes zero sense in this context, and they should know this because they include Pariston Hill.
Exactly.
Pariston is a character solely fueled by a hate boner. How do you not understand that evil Nen is an oxymoron? We see murders and truly despicable people who are fueled by it and the power hate can gain from it. Not to mention the positive depiction of Netero. This man's power, and specifically his final attack, is about a corruption of something holy. Yes! Dude, he makes a Bodhisattva, that's my first time pronouncing it too, there's mine, cry. He is a creature solely fueled by his desire for a challenge, and a person who would sacrifice and use others as fuel for his ambitions with such callousness that the association is ambivalent to the actions of its members. Might make right. He is the evil of humanity, conflicted by the budding humanity and the monster Meruem. Yeah, you've watched the fight I've seen.
Exactly. Hey, you watched the same thing I did. I guess the writers of this movie didn't, though.
Yeah, making him the light side of a duo is such BS. I can't imagine. And assuming the association has such a squad is absurd given the individualistic nature of the association. So I guess that's a good point to go against the idea of like a Black Ops Hunter unit, is that like the association in general is just a group of
actually,
individuals.
That's a fantastic point. Yeah, like what? Why would they need a Black Ops team? They're already like they're such like a loosey goosey organization to begin with. It doesn't really have any need for that.
I mean, I guess in fairness, that could be explored even more than what has been like so far with the association. But I feel like we've explored enough to where like it's kind of implied like the association is just like it's put together with like glue and string.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, good point there. It's really hard to relate to the enemies. The blue-haired one was kind of nice, but he dies right as we get info on him. One was dead from the start, and the other had a bland personality. Also, what a waste of specialization, dear God. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, if you could have 100% in all Nen types, including specialization, that goes to my point. You could have done so many... You could have done literally anything. Literally any power you wanted with that.
All of those guys could have done anything, man, but they just chose their one thing and stuck with it.
Yeah. There are so many ways this could have... Yeah, fireballs and punching and
hacking computers and whips or whatever.
There are so many ways this could have worked. Show Battle Olympia. Have these be actual Nen users with a grudge. Maybe ex-pure paladins. Don't have them all be specialists. It's such a lame way to interact. Have them be competent maybe, but not gifted. There's more, guys. Hold on. More dumb things. Zushi's opponent is named Kandaru and is given the name... And given the name as a reference to the kangaroo fish, I'm kind of glad we didn't get an explanation of his ability. I have some suspicions I do not want confirmed. I'm curious now. I'm not going to look it up, though.
I am.
All right. You can confirm if it's safe to talk about or not. I don't even know. Something about the designs are off. It's most obvious on Kurapika, but even Gon looks and moves in ways that feel off at points. Hey, he's with you, Kaige.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Look at that.
I don't know. Nothing felt that crazy off to me, but like I'm just gonna take your guys' word for it at this point. I refuse to believe Bluesky would just sit there and do nothing. Good point. Yeah. Imagine working a Hunter Association office job. LOL.
Yeah, seriously.
When they describe the shadows, a bunch of the designs look familiar. Like one is in a wheelchair and one looks remarkably similar to Benjamin. Really? I'll have to go back to that.
I'll have to look at that. Yeah.
Why does Kurapika know the shadow and what is the aversion?
Oh my god.
We didn't even talk about that.
Kurapika
Dude, knows the shadow somehow.
We lost our minds when we were watching the movie about that. Yeah, there's this scene where Kurapika's like, oh yeah, the shadow. I know all about that.
Do you know? You're a novice hunter still.
Dude, what?
You may be a specialist, but you're still new. Like,
that was so stupid.
Oh my god. Or rather, you can become a specialist, but like...
Well, yeah. He's part a specialist.
Yeah. What is a version to use on the chains? Who knows? Nice things. Nice things, and then there's one paragraph.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing Pariston being a petty bitch. Moreno made an appearance, and that's pretty swell. Oh, was that the dude from Great Island?
That's the Great Island guy. Yep, there you go. Moreno.
At least they have interesting abilities, and I do love the Hisoka scene in this movie for how creative the use of his ability. Shame he doesn't show up more. I don't get that point because he literally only uses his bungee gun for like the injection thing to pick it up, and then for the Leorio gag. That's it.
Yeah, what was the cool use of it?
I don't understand. Personally,
creative use for his ability. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but
in any way, yeah, it was nice to see Pariston have the.
Okay, so by the way, the Kangaroo fish, those are the little ones that are often found in rivers that go up people's urethra. Often.
What the? What the hell? Let's be glad we didn't see him.
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't get to see that inability.
Poor Zushi would have had a rough time.
Yeah, that would have been tough. That would have been like the parasite worms and Uvo, but worse.
Good God. I wish I didn't know that now, but yeah.
Cool. Hey, now you know.
Good long comment. Thank you for that. And that does bring an end to the community comments for this time. Lower turnout than usual. Not really surprised though. This movie is really bad. would be shocked if there was any amount of people who didn't have any thoughts, or like you know what I'm trying to say. If you didn't have any thoughts, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, keep an eye on our socials and the YouTube community posts for further call out posts for future episodes going forward.
Yes, sir. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at just THAPod for updates on the show and as an alternative way to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. As always, we'll be here at the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. Dylan, where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on Twitter and Bluesky. Yeah, I'm into a lot of nerdy stuff. Anime, manga related, video games, all that. So go check me out if you're interested. Not as active as I'd like to be at times right now, but that's okay. You can still follow me there if you'd like.
Yep, and you can find me at Kaige10 on Bluesky. That's KAIIGE10, where I'm just tweeting about nerd stuff as usual. I'll be posting my end of year thread probably within the next few days, so
Ooh.
That's exciting.
Those are always a good read. Make sure you guys go check that out.
Yeah. And yeah, as for the show, again, next week we are off, and we will have a little bonus episode on YouTube. But audio listeners, once again, you're out of luck. Sorry. You're screwed. You just get nothing.
The bonus content we have in mind is not really wouldn't really work in an audio only format, so a little teaser there, I guess, for what the YouTube frogs can expect.
Yeah. And also make sure to tune in for our live stream on January 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will announce the results for our giveaway for the Hunter x Hunter 2011 Complete Series on Blu-ray.
Can you guys tell how hard this is to hold in my hands fully?
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. It's
Look
a lot.
at that.
It's the full set, though. All 148
Big prize
episodes on Blu-ray.
You can enter in the description.
And remember, U.S. Canadian residents only. Sorry.
That's right. Yep. All right. And that's it for this week. We will see you in 2 weeks, for everybody at least, for a Karapika character retrospective. And we'll see you next week for a little bonus video on YouTube. So see you guys for one of those, depending on who you are.
Yep. And in any case, happy holidays, safe travels if you're traveling to see your family, and have a good holiday season.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.